pom-pom together, stay together.
I mean, that's the real girlfriends.
Yeah, it's about building legacies, wealth,
I mean,
and keeping your pom-pom healthy. I had this client, this older woman, she came and I was doing her hair, and when she was leaving, she was like, all right, make sure to keep the pom-pom healthy. I was like, that's the thing now, like, instead of saying bye, like, I was in Jamaica once and this guy, he was on the phone talking to this girl, and I think she's in England, and you know how Jamaican people love twang. So he's on the phone, he's like, keep it tight. Right? That just reminded me of that, which like, keep it healthy, but like, keep it tight. Oh my god, okay, I gotta.
It's intense now, right? You're good. When you rock, it makes it
gonna have to
easy.
I'm gonna make sure. Sitting in the more traditional style.
Yeah, that's our lower stool. That's the yoni steaming stool. And those are the exact kind of models that we have for sale on the site.
But I would recommend still coming to get your treatment because it's just a nice treat. Like it literally is a treat. And this alkaline water is everything.
And I'm sitting on a chair. I'm not going to flash you because I've heard horror stories about it. But it's just an actual chair with a very nice leather plush cushioning that I'm sitting on. What I do feel is the steam coming up, revitalizing my coochie, making everything work as it should.
You feeling all that, girl? This is now my third steam.
This is your third?
I was telling Bless earlier that she has put me on a regimen for every 3 weeks.
Yep.
And I was saying that I feel like I missed my 3rd week, so I wanted to bring my friend Juanita so she can experience it. And so because of that, I had missed my 3rd week, and now this is my 4th week. And I was telling her that I swear I was like, fuck Juanita, like let me go by myself and get my steam on because
I was taking too damn long.
Yeah, because by the 3rd week I just felt like I'm missing something in my life. Like no, it just feels like you get filled up with this energy. And every day that you're away from the steaming, it just overflows. Yeah, so I need to get that energy back. Like, I'm so glad to be here today. You have no idea because I'm ready for the run. So now, big full moon energy, which I love. Talk a little bit about menstruation. I have you here.
Yeah.
So we touched on like color and like how to. Before we even get into that, so clearly we're talking about pom pom all day today.
Yes. That's the vibe.
It's a blessed vibe. Right? And just like a lot of people, again, myself included, were not really paying attention to my body and what's happening with it. And even my menstrual cycle, how long, not everybody has different cycles, how long it takes for each person, but what it should look like, what it should smell like.
Right.
You know? Can I just say, let me just enter.
Yeah.
My pom-pom smells so good.
Amazing.
Like, I thought it was good before.
Right? That's what I hear a lot.
Yeah, I thought, oh, right, man, is kind of pom-pom color. But now it's a real problem. Like, and then you walk around smelling like, when was the last time you smelled your pom-pom? Like, ladies, smell your pussies, okay? Make sure you know
what it smells like.
Right.
Okay, so that way you know if something is off balance, if something is wrong. That's a big indicator. Like, so if you're in the bathroom before you can pee before you first smell, because you know what your urine smells like.
And if you can smell yourself like without intentionally, like just when you go to the washroom, that's a concern. Right? That's a concern.
Right.
So we're supposed to have like a natural scent to us. Like everyone has their own scent. But once it's foul or like real noticeable, like stands out, then it's something that you want to tend to.
Yeah. Like you shouldn't smell foul.
Or fishy.
Like death or like
eggy.
Fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you do, it's okay. It might mean that your pH balance is off.
Yep.
Right.
Which is very common. And that, the pH is off, some sort of BV outbreak, which is very closely linked to intercourse. Not even a variety of partners. It could be one standard partner, and that could happen. So very common. Like easily 85% of my clients that come in are dealing with that. So it does happen to all of us at one time or another. So it's just a matter of dealing with it.
Right. And also, I think a matter of, I'm so glad we're having these conversations because baby is not something I really knew about until like, I'm 37. I never heard about this until like 36. Like what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I think there's a lot of things that we don't talk about it. We figure something's wrong and something's kind of off, but we don't have the language
Right.
to recognize
Right.
when something's off,
Right.
right? So
And
again,
even the
that's
comfort
what
level
you
sometimes.
smell like is so important, and knowing your own natural scent,
Yeah.
and not really comparing.
And when it's
to
off,
people.
it's great when you can pinpoint and realize it's off, right? So there's different times in our cycle, like before your period, after your period, when you're most fertile, you know, that your body is going through hormone changes and you can notice a difference, right? Whether you do or don't sweat, whether, you know what I mean? This discharge, you know, of finding the cervical fluid when you wipe, like knowing those different indicators in your cycle when they're going to pop up.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, then speaking about your cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that it should be 28 to 35 days a cycle.
35 is a bit high. I say 28 to 30 days
Yeah.
is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So within that range,
Yeah.
30 days is healthy.
Yeah.
And how long should a period normally be? I don't
Well,
want to use the word normal, but
Yeah. So honestly, your period is supposed to be a week. So I tell people if their period is 7 days long, it's really not problematic. Yes, you feel cheated because other people are getting away with 3 and 4 days. But your period's supposed to be a week long, right? As long as your first 3 days are heavier and then like after that it's starting to trickle off. You know what I mean? But by day 7, it's the last day that you're either wearing a pad or a liner. That's very normal and a healthy cycle. I think you shouldn't like have anything less than 4 days. So 4 days is okay as well. Just because you could be just getting everything out because it's nice and heavy the first 2 days and it's eliminating everything. But the main thing is that it's regular, number one. So it's coming every month. And that it's not too short, and then obviously not more than the 7 days too.
Right.
Yeah. So once you get into that, then there's some sort of issue down there, like over hemorrhaging or not clearing it out enough.
Okay. So I know for me that I get shorter periods, right? 3, 4 days, 3 to 5, and the first day is never heavy.
Okay.
It's just my body telling me it's getting like it's about
Getting
that
ready.
time.
Yeah.
The second day I start seeing. Third day, fourth day is already packing up to go home.
Okay.
We're talking about
That's
stuff.
quick. That's
yeah,
quick.
it's like a really short period, but like you're talking earlier about what we should be looking for, like what does the menstrual, but over from what you're talking about the color, like mine is red, like it's
Good.
not dark red.
And that's what I was saying, that I'm happy with that it's, you know, it's a bright red, it all comes out and it's done. If you're not dealing with a lot of cramping and pain, especially during or after, then to me that's like everything's coming out, right? I don't know what your diet is like, but a lot of times your diet can be like candy. But I think the biggest impact on the period is the meat and dairy.
I don't eat none of that. Like,
That's why your period is so nice, to be honest. See, so you don't eat meat and dairy?
I don't eat meat. I'll have dairy occasionally. Like I don't eat pizza. So.
Here and there, yeah, but that's not daily, right? That's not a weekly even, right?
No.
That's why your period is so nice. You should switch to a vegan cheese, man, if you have pizza all the time.
So gross.
But
I'm glad you said it, so I was about to
everybody already knows I'm
But no, I would honestly go on record to say that's why your period is so nice. Between that and the steaming is like a lot of women who I'm working with them to improve their cycles. When we get to diet, I'm like, try to cut out the dairy. If you can cut as much meat out as you can, that's great. So hearing you have, you know, the easy peasy period and
it's not easy. I mean, you know, you have those times where it's uncomfortable, but it's not like, I know women who are unable to get out of bed.
Exactly.
You know, and I'm just like, oh my God, I feel your pain, because there's been very few times in my life where I felt that, and I went, how do you do that on a monthly basis? You know, and
crazy.
I've had women tell me that they have clots and all these type of things, and like, I'm very like, oh my God, what does this mean?
Right.
So what does that mean, like, if you're seeing clots?
The clots, well, remember, your period is like the inner lining of the uterus shedding, right? So that's tissue. So in a way, clots are going to be normal because it's tissue that's coming out, right? Even though you have your menstrual cycle, it's blood, it's also going to be some of that lining. So it's normal to see clots, but once they're getting really big and thick and the whole time, then it's more problematic.
By big, what do we mean? A 2
Bigger than a quarter?
Okay.
Yeah, bigger than a quarter.
Okay.
Really, I used to dime size, really. I don't see anything much bigger than that. And it's towards the beginning of your cycle, typically, right? That you'll see like more the more fleshy part of it. And once you are steaming on a regular basis and you're getting a full cycle where everything's coming out, you'll get less and less of that, right? So it'll just be a simple lining as opposed to a lot of buildup, right? Because the steaming is helping to pull the impurities out, including any sort of buildup in irregular growth that you have inside the uterus or the cavity.
Okay, so just to clarify, so it's okay in the realm of normal if you see
it's normal to see, bits and pieces of something thicker than blood. Yeah, okay. I would say something thicker than blood is normal, but once you're getting into like the loony size clots and it's a lot of it, then there's something there that you need to look at.
Okay. And so at the beginning stages of your menstrual cycle, the color should be like a
bright red. Yeah, your flow should be closer to a bright red flow as opposed to dark brown, burgundy, black.
So when we're seeing those darker shades and hues, what is that indicative?
That's a sign of stagnation. So it means that your whole period didn't finish last month, and that old blood is coming out looking dark like that. Oh. So some people will see that dark color in the beginning, and then by the end of their period they see red, right? Okay. So that red is really this month, which is also why you have cramping next month, because your uterus is contracting, trying to push out all the old stuff, right? So you're trying, your body's trying to get rid of it, and that's why you're paining and stuff. So this is why, this is exactly why with the steaming you'll see cramping, you're getting rid of the cramping, you're getting rid of the pain associated with your period, and your period just comes and goes and it's easy. So it's because it's getting everything out.
So has there been women who have like maybe you come in and get a yoni steam? Has other people realized that they might have gotten their period earlier?
It can be thrown off. I wouldn't see. It's funny because some people have that 30 day. So coming regular is gonna get it to a regular 28-day cycle. So if anything, I guess it goes back to why I ask so many questions on the intake form, and that's why I adjust the herbs according to your needs. So we actually have women who are less than 27 days, and we don't want them to be less than 27 days. So I'm going to use a blend that's going to actually strengthen the uterus so that you don't get the spotting, and you'll get to 28 days. So if you find someone where you feel like it's earlier, it should only be about a couple days. Like, it's not going to bring your period on when you shouldn't be on your period. Like, if that's happening, then there's an issue there.
I noticed with me that my cycle did start like a couple days earlier, but that could be for a variety of reasons.
It definitely can, but if it's within the week that it's expected, then that's still normal.
How did you get into this line of business?
I had my own struggle with fibroids when I had my daughter. So I didn't know I had fibroids. I didn't have the symptoms of fibroids. And then when I went for an ultrasound, I found out I had them. It grew with the pregnancy, so 7 or 8 small ones amalgamated into one huge one. And then after I had her, I ended up hemorrhaging for like 7 months straight. Like I never stopped. Every day it was like I was on my period. And so I finally had to go for surgery to remove the fibroid because it got so intense. And when I was getting ready to go for the surgery, obviously everyone around me now knows I'm going for major surgery. And a friend of mine told me that this is what they do back home in Africa to get rid of fibroids, is they steam. So I was really intrigued. I already wanted to be a naturopath at that point, and so I was really interested. And that's when I just started like looking up everything on the herbs and the tradition, and just tapping into the African diaspora, like all the relatives and friends around me that I knew. My friends from Haiti and Ghana primarily. And so then fast forward, I got pregnant with my son in 2017, and just having that surgery meant that I couldn't have a vaginal birth in the future. And so it's sort of, the pregnancy triggered all those old emotions and frustration of what I went through with the fibroid, because although I had heard about yoni steaming then, it was too late for me. It was like 13 inches. So it was, I had to have the surgery in that case. But I just got passionate about sharing it with other women and making it available to other women, because I was just like, I wish I had known. And even though it was too late for me, I want to be able to help other women, right? And so I said, this is what I'm going to do with my mat leave. And that's what I did in 2018 with my mat leave with my son, is I started the Yoni Spa at home.
That's amazing. I love that.
And then as I was helping women like with the steaming, and I thought I could help with, I knew it would help with fibroids, and then I discovered how much it can improve your period. But then I was helping women with fertility issues, and they were going on to have their first pregnancies or a successful pregnancy after having miscarriages, and then that's when like I was just like over the moon from steaming.
Wow, and this is a treatment you should do once a month?
Yeah, so sometimes I'll have clients that will come more often, like on a weekly basis, because they want to shrink fibroids or cysts or something like that, or their period's been missing for some time and they actually want to have children, so they need their menstrual cycle, they need to be ovulating. So they'll come more often until their period starts, and then we'll go on to basically a 3-week routine.
That's so cool.
And it's perfectly, like, we talked about in the previous video, and so it's perfectly safe to come and do it weekly. And
so we make some adjustments for each person depending on like what their routine's gonna be, how often, how long their session is, and everything, and what herbs we use.
So a little birdie told me. A little birdie told me. So a couple of weeks ago. So ever since I had posted my first YouTube video that I had with you, I've been getting a lot of messages and people contacting me and reaching out, and a lot, especially men, like, hey. So recently, a friend of mine was like, oh yeah, so my girl, like his ex-girlfriend at the time, she does yoni steaming, and he was saying that he could completely feel the difference with women who steam and women who don't. He's like, the wettest, the tightest. He's like, I don't know.
It's true.
Like, he's like, I'm only messing with girls that steam their yoni from now on.
I have husbands who book their wives' appointments or come and thank me afterwards because it makes a huge difference.
It's a real thing.
I need to know more.
Yeah, so it's going to tighten and tone, and it increases.
Kegels.
Absolutely. This is like surpasses the Kegels, so this doesn't naturally. I literally have senior clients who, since they started steaming, they don't have to use lube for intercourse anymore, and they used to have to reach for it because of dryness. So they don't need to anymore. So it increases.
When you say senior,
over 50.
Okay. What is one doing
over 50, newlyweds, so newly active, but had to use lube.
I feel like senior over 50 is rude. I would say 65.
It is, but there's also 55.
Well seasoned.
Well, my mom's been happy to say senior, and a shopper senior is 55.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, a shopper's Drug Mart senior is 55. Over 70. I have clients over 70, same thing. I'm just saying, like, the ones that come back and tell me the stories of like that, she was in her 50s.
I love that.
They're wetter, they're tighter.
Wetter, tighter, don't use lube. So yeah, vaginal dryness is a big thing. And so that's gonna improve the experience for the woman more so too, right?
I didn't realize how much that was a big thing for older women. Like you just, because you're not there, you're not really thinking about that. But that's a really big thing, and this is a real good way to this is a whole walk situation. Like, you can't even leave your house in peace. Like, it's real.
And it's big. And my other seniors actually talked about how, because it improves circulation, right? So with improving circulation, their medication works better. Like, they move easier. They're more agile. So yeah, it's amazing. I've had people stand up and say, I've had back pain since an car accident how many years ago, and it just is gone. So just like going into a hot tub, right? It's hydrotherapy. So even though you think it's just a little yoni steaming, like when people come out like at peace, happier, like stronger, I'm telling you, it's different. So yours is a reduced session, so you are done.
I'm done.
You are.
Okay.
I have So I have a question.
Yes.
After yoni steaming, maybe turn the camera, look at it this way. Yeah, see that. So after yoni steaming, is it safe to have sex the same day you steam?
Of course. There's nothing you can't do after steaming. Nothing.
Because, I feel like, okay, so, from my experience with the steaming, I feel like there's so much going on down there. I feel like you can feel.
I have clients who refuse to because she's so clean. She's like, you're not coming in contaminating the area.
Detoxing. Like, I'm like, detox. You know what I mean? Like, so isn't a thing where people steam and then go do the do because everything is
exactly. I literally had a client last week asking like, can I do it twice in one day? Because she has a stool, she does it at home. Yeah, so I think she wants to do it like before and after. Because she loves it. Like she is in love with steaming.
Yeah, but so can you do it twice in one day?
I've seen it happen, but you wouldn't do like the 30-minute session that we normally do, right? So if you reduce it. Again, she's just a different kind of crazy.
Like rich African anti-vibes. I don't know what a rich.
I like it.
So that's good to know. So ladies, after steaming your pom-pom, you can have intercourse afterwards.
Of course.
And your pom-pom will be extra tight.
There's nothing cut off.
Yeah. Make sure you collect your pension after that. Okay? Yeah. So I just like those are things that I was always like, oh, like if you're detoxing. You know, you kind of don't want to necessarily.
Yeah, you may not want to, but it's not cut off. I have to make it clear to people that, it's not cut off. Yeah. Okay. It's just nice for him to be like, super clean. Make sure you pull it back, wash underneath.
Or wrap it up.
Or wrap it up. Yeah, if you have to. But yeah, that's all.
I don't like wrapping it up.
You don't like wrap it up?
No, I hear you. That's why I said just pull it back and wash it up.
Allergic to latex,
right?
Yeah, they have no idea, and that's what's causing some of the BV. That's what's causing
the irritation. Yeah,
and they have no idea. Like people are getting bruised up and like sore up because of these condoms.
Yeah,
like
I suffer from vaginal dryness. Just when I'm using condoms, like when my partner is using a condom. So
you get dry,
real dry. But of course. Get tested, be safe, know who you're sleeping with.
Yeah.
Once that's good, like the dryness issue is not there anymore.
Right.
But then BV is a problem for me.
Yeah.
So it's a hit either way, like I'm affected. So this is going to be interesting. I can't wait to see.
Yeah. I always tell people you can give it a run.
Down if you do and down if you don't. Like pom-pom atrophies are a real thing.
It's a thing.
Okay?
But yeah, you just want to do something. What works? Do something. What works?
Do something. Do something.
How long is her session?
Hers is a full 30.
And mine was?
20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why is mine 30 minutes?
Because your period is over 28 days.
Okay.
Oh.
You have a shorter cycle, a weaker uterus, and we're trying to strengthen it, so we don't want to cause overstimulation and then cause bleeding early.
Okay.
Yeah. So once we get you to once we get you to a 28-day cycle, then we can look at moving to 30 minutes.
I need to come back in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 3 weeks avoiding your period week. That's what we do.
Okay.
So should it be like, because I'm kind of wanting to like time or reschedule my things to go around my cycle. So like after my cycle is when I would go and get my steam as opposed to mid-cycle.
Yeah. So you can do it that way, even if it's like less than 3 weeks, and then after that it'll always be constant. Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't even know. My cycle just comes when it kind of feels.
I strongly suggest you use an app to track your period. It's
there's
really
an app for that,
yes. There's 100 apps for that.
I know because when is your last period? I'm like, and because you know what? Because it
helps you, and once you do it,
convenient. Like it doesn't, it doesn't.
But this will help you predict.
That I just forget about it.
That's good, but this will help you predict the future too when it's coming. Like once you track it like 6 months, it'll be able to tell you we expect it this time, and it can tell you when you're ovulating.
That's all I know.
But that's always gonna change because 28 days, right? So it's gonna change when.
Okay, another question in relation to this. So I have PMS, 100%. Like it's guaranteed. I know my period is coming on this conversation because the week before I'll cry at something stupid like a dog commercial. It'll make me like really emotional. No, it's seriously.
It's real.
Does this help with that?
Yeah, so it helps to balance the hormones.
Okay.
So so what happens is typically
I'm sold on just that.
Hormones
Because partners will always be like, your period's coming.
Yeah.
I know your period's coming because you're acting crazy right now.
So it helps to balance the hormones, and I'm working on like a drinkable tea as well that will help supplement too. So I'm basically
it's raspberry tea leaf during the period.
Yeah. And that's part of the blend. So basically I'm working on things that can support you guys in between your sessions. So a tea and like as I talked about earlier, a soap to help with the BV and like after your period and stuff. But yeah, so those things will help to supplement too. But yeah, this helps to balance the hormones.
I love that.
Like literally, I have a client, I'll show you her testimony later, but she talked about how much she's like a raving bee on her period. And she's like, her whole family knows to stay away from her.
Yes.
And she's completely different now. She's like, her kids and her husband thank me because she's a completely different woman now. And so yeah, it helped to balance out those hormones. So
that's amazing.
It could definitely
I
do
think
so.
a lot of women would benefit from that.
Yes.
I mean, because it takes you so far away from yourself.
yeah, affects your work and your
it
relationships.
Kind of brings these conversations. Like sometimes I feel ashamed, like because I know I'll snap at somebody when they don't deserve that.
Irritable.
And so and I hate being out of control.
Right.
You know, and so it kind of creates like this shame around the whole
what you're going through. Yeah.
Yeah, and being a woman. Yeah, like people are, oh, women are crazy. No, I hate that shit.
Yeah, it's true. You don't feel like yourself during that time. You really don't.
Is that me?
That's you,
So
sis.
my time's up. Thank you so much for coming today for another series of Panani Diaries. Just to wrap up, to let y'all know, Steamy makes her pum pum give you that good, that serious walk. Good walk. Walk. Grab a bucket, and a mop. So is that
good
men, like literally men, like
They should
men?
be
I want to
treating their
hear
wives
from
to
the
this.
men. Like I really want to hear from men what their experience has been like with women steaming. Because I've only heard from like one man about it so far, and he was just like raving about the results.
I should try to get the men on record too.
Yeah, get your pum pum steamed. Yoni Spa is available in Oshawa and in the beaches. And you can check out yonispa.ca to get your pum pum tap right. You know what I'm saying? Alright, y'all, much love. I really don't want to flash nobody.